Hi everybody. I promised a blog post this weekend on some stamping basics as part of the series, and to actually show you how to use the different stamps, the different inks, and get a really good clear image. And I realized that would be really hard to do with just a post with words and pictures. So I decided to do my very first video. We are going to, first of all, I'm going to show you some of the different stamp blocks that there are for your clear acrylic stamps. Now this one is by Close to My Heart, you can see, and it has nice grooves in the sides, so when you hold it, you get a really good grip on it. And they come in all sorts of different sizes. This one is one that I bought at Michael's. Very inexpensive, it's very thin. The only problem is, it's fine in the beginning, but the only problem is you tend to have your fingers hit the project before your stamped image sometimes because it is so thin and hard to get a grip on. This one is the Stamp Press by Fiskars, and it is really nice for large stamped images, or if you had a card and you wanted to lay everything out here on this grid exactly how you wanted it on the card, ink it up, and then just press down. Maybe walk your fingers over it to make sure everything's got a good image. Lift up, and that's how that works. So first we're going to start though with some wood-mounted rubber stamps. And this one is a house mouse stamp, a Halloween version. And I just love these little guys. They're so cute. What I'm going to do, what I like to do with these rubber stamps like this is ink them up while they're laying like this. And this is a black Close to My Heart stamp pad. And I wanted to show you, these can be a little difficult for some people to figure out how to open. You see there's a little half circle there. You put your thumb there. And you put your fingers and your thumb of the other hand on both sides. And you lift up, and then it swings around and goes right back and sits in the base and clicks in place. Now, some people find, without a lot of hand strength, find it a little difficult to do. There is a groove right here, a little lip that sticks out. You can file that down just a little bit, and it makes it so much easier to open and close. Some come tighter than others. I don't know why. Some are really easy to open and others are not. So I'm going to ink this up really well. And I can look at it and see if I'm hitting all the areas I need to hit. Since it's a red rubber stamp and black ink, it's pretty easy to see. I'm hitting everything the way I want it to be. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I'm going to turn it over, press it down on my paper. And I don't want to rock these rubber stamps at all. Just want to press, maybe run my knuckles across them. But I don't want to rock them side to side, because that'll just give me a really blurry image. And when I think I've got everything the way I want it, lift it straight up. And you can see it's a really nice clear image. Now usually with these house mouse stamps or other things like this, I would color this in either with colored pencils, or I would color it in with Copic markers, alcohol markers, like these, or the new alcohol markers we just are selling with Close to My Heart, these Shinhan Touch Twin markers. And so I would want to ink this up in the Memento Black ink that we talked about in the last post, because it will not smear when you get the alcohol ink on them, and it will not ruin your nibs of your markers to do that either. Okay. Now you want to clean this really quickly. This is some spray cleanser, and there's refills for these too. This is a small bottle. You just want to give a couple of quick spritzes, and then you want to use this little scrubber and scrub over the top of it. And we'll see how easily this comes off. And then it's nice and clean and ready to put up. You can clean these with baby wipes, but I find that the baby wipes leave little fibers behind, and you really don't get into those grooves the way you want to. So some kind of a good spray cleanser and a scrubber combo is a great idea. Okay. So this is another kind of rubber stamp that I have, and it's a background stamp. I think this is by Stampendous, maybe, who also makes the house mouse, and they're sold at Hobby Lobby. So with something like this, I'm going to ink it up the same way. I'm going to take my ink pad to the stamp, and I'm going to ink it all over. And I'm just using black today just for demo purposes, but of course you can use any color you want. Make sure I've got it all inked up really well. And instead of turning this big one over and trying to get it to lay flat perfectly without messing it up, I'm going to take the item that I want it to be on. In this case, it's a card front. And I'm going to lay it carefully without moving it around too much on top. Then I'm going to just simply rub my hand over the whole thing. Or you can use a brayer if you have one. I do have one somewhere. I don't know where. And just rub it till you think you've covered all the areas. And when you think you have, you are going to lift it straight up. And this is what you get, a really nice background. Now you can see I kind of left this at the top. I should have moved it up a little bit, but you get the idea. And then you could take markers, glitter markers, gel pens, distress markers, Copic markers, whatever you want to use, Shinahan markers, and color in these little hearts and things if you want to. I also like to use a little glitter pen around some of these little swirls. Okay, clean this up the same way, give it a couple spritzes, and then scrub it, and let it air dry. Don't take a towel or a paper towel or anything like that. You'll just get little fibers and things stuck to it. Just let them air dry. Now, we're going to talk about the clear stamps. And I have a couple here that I want to use today. One of my favorite clear stamps, and one that I love to color in with anything, colored pencils, markers, whatever you want to color it in with, is this really cute paper doll set. And this is a close to my heart set, and you can see it's already gotten a lot of love from my granddaughter. Okay, when you have these clear acrylic stamps like this, and you put them on your block, you want to slip this little foam paper that came with your set underneath the paper so that you get a nice image. Now, I'm going to switch to the Memento black ink for this because I do know that later on I'm going to want to color this in, probably with alcohol markers. And as you look down on top of this, you can see, because it's a clear stamp, that you're getting it inked up properly, just by looking down at what you're doing. She looks good. So we'll put her right here. Now on these, you can rock them a little bit from side to side to make sure you get everything covered. And you also can run your hands across them. And when you think you've got everything pressed down nicely, lift straight up. And you can see you've got a really good image of that paper doll. Now with this paper doll, she's got lots of areas to color in, make them really pretty, and she's got clothes that you can color in, cut out, hats, little lemonade stand sign, and a couple of little cute sayings. Clean her up and I'll put her away. The other type of ink we talked about was, well, a couple of types. We talked about pigment ink, and we talked about distress ink. And we went over types of ink. So, I'm going to do a couple things with those and show you the difference. And to put these away, just simply put them back on the sheet. Here's the little, this has got little instructions. Each stamp comes with little instructions, tips, pointers on how to get a good image. And each one comes in a 6x6 envelope like this. As a matter of fact, if you have a lot of clear stamps that didn't come in envelopes like this, you bought them at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and you don't have a great way to store them, you can get extra 6x6 envelopes, and then they can go all in the same storage area. Okay. To show you the difference between the distress inks and the pigment inks, I think I'm going to use some solid butterflies here, because that'll give you a really good idea, especially on the pigment ink. And I picked out just a really nice blue. I'm still using a big block here, which I don't need. It's another small block. I could really, with something like this, use a 1x1 block, but I didn't get it out this time. Okay, so these come in these little tiny containers, close to my heart, pigment inks. And other companies sell pigment inks too, and you can get them in different different containers, but this is how close to my heart does them. And you just kind of tap, and you can really see as you're going when the whole image is covered with that color. And you can see how much more vibrant these are than dye inks. And they stay wet a lot longer. Another really good thing to have handy are baby wipes. Just any kind of alcohol-free baby wipes, doesn't matter. Because, as you can see, I've got blue around that butterfly. So I'm going to take this baby wipe and get that excess off without taking the ink off of the image. Okay? Now I'm going to make sure I have a pad underneath what I'm doing. And I'm going to stamp it right down there. You can rock it a little bit if you want to. And there it is. Very pretty blue butterfly. Okay? I'm going to clean this off. This is, with pigment inks, I wouldn't even try to not have some kind of good cleaning system, because they really want to stick to a stamp, especially if there's some grooves. They're just so wet, they really want to stay on there. I'm going to take this same butterfly that we just, that we just used, and I'm going to show you the difference of what it would look like done with the distress ink. Just a whole different effect. Now this is just black soot, so it's really going to get a big difference. Sure. And you're going to notice distress inks react with water. So if anything's damp, of course, it's going to get even a different look to it. And I've gotten black everywhere, so all around. This would not happen if I'd used a 1x1 stamp ink block or acrylic block, as I should have. Okay. And I'm going to stamp this black butterfly right there. And you can see it gives it a different look. It's going to be more of a mottled look, or a grunge look, distress look. A lot of people use it to make things look aged on their work. Another thing with these is you can take the markers, they're distress markers, and you can color directly onto your stamp with the distress markers. Just cover it completely. Or if you wanted to do part of the wings one color, let's try to do the top of the wings in this pinkish color, and then we'll do a lighter color on the bottom of the wings. Sure. I should have cleaned the whole thing off first. Yeah, let me see what that looks like. And you can see it gives you two different colors on that same image. And you can do it on larger images. You can do, if you've got a butterfly, do the petals, the leaves, everything, all different colors, which is a lot of fun. The only other tip I would give you while we're at it is this little scrubber. You notice I've cleaned a lot of different colors off of this. All you have to do when you're done using it, or if you feel like you've used a really dark color, take this and run it under the water, let it air dry, and then put the lid back on. And then you're all done. If you have any questions about some basic stamping tips, please let me know. I'd like to do a video in the future showing how to heat emboss some things, how to maybe piece some things, which paper piece. In other words, if I stamped this girl, I would stamp her a couple of times, but on different types of paper, and maybe cut out her outfit out of a printed paper that I'd stamped on, and piece it on and glue it on there. So there are a lot of different techniques to be learned, and if there's one certain one you'd want to learn, please let me know, and I'll cover it next time. Thank you. Stop.